If you resonate with the following message, this video is for you. If you feel deep down that you're inherently just a failure for existing, if you feel low self-worth, if you're constantly full of self-doubt, and if you literally just don't like yourself, this video is for you. Why am I qualified to speak to you about this? Well, first of all, I trained in the gym for over 4 years, all the whilst I hated myself. I thought that since I was in the gym, getting a better physique, I would end up at some point liking myself more. But the self-hatred remained the same that it did day 1 in the gym, that it did day 800. It was only until I realized a few things that actually changed. First off, you need to understand that you don't solve inner world problems with external shit. You have some sort of crippling problem with your identity, the way you see yourself, your self-esteem. It's low. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to me. That's how I felt. There's a fundamental problem in your inner world. You don't solve that with external world fixes. You don't fix that by getting more money. You don't fix that by getting girls. And you don't fix that by getting a better physique. Then how do you actually fix that then? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, the first principle is radical self-acceptance. I know, wow, self-acceptance. Like, you have to accept yourself. Wow, all that build up to a basic ass accept yourself. This isn't just a basic self-improvement, accept yourself the way you are type of advice. This is accepting and loving all parts of yourself regardless. You likely have parts of yourself that you don't like, that you wish weren't there. And that literally disintegrates you. Disintegrated. There's parts of you that aren't integrated. When you reject parts of yourself, for example, I had a horrible, lazy side of myself that I would push down, say, fuck you, I hate you, why are you ruining my life? When you talk to yourself like that, picture yourself, your psyche, as like a small council of like 20 different personalities. And when you don't accept this council member, he makes life hell. And this is likely when you have those voices in your head that are like conflicting with each other, like you want to go to the gym, but then you want to be a lazy butt. When you just have conflicting desires in your mind, this is because you haven't accepted yourself fully. And this is going to result in, if you don't fix this is going to result in negative self-talk. The way you see yourself is literally going to be far more negative. You're going to like yourself and value yourself less because essentially you're not whole. You haven't accepted who you are, what you are, and all parts of your psyche. That inner council that you have, you want them all planning what's best for you, don't you? But instead, you have that one or the two, or you could have half the council against you. And that is what happens when you push them down and you don't accept and love them regardless. The mind is very counterintuitive. You would think by pushing down your emotions, trying to push down this side of me, you would think, well, that's going to push them down, right? No. That only makes them stronger. And that only makes you subconsciously react with more of a violent tendency. It just makes negative emotions stronger. It's not how it works at all. So, very basically, you're going to have parts of yourself that you aren't accepting. You're going to want to accept those parts, love them as they are, and you likely something that people would say against this is that, hey, if I accept them as they are, I'm not going to want to change. I'm not going to want to change this negative behavior. But those two things aren't exclusive to each other. You can accept it, yet move towards a future that isn't hampered down by basically that council member trying to like outplay and outdo you. They won't be against you anymore. And the second piece of advice I have for you is to accept that shadow self. Likely another term you haven't heard before. Shadow work is an integral part of learning to like yourself, learning to be whole and full as who you are. As I told you earlier, self-acceptance is the first step. And then this actually ties in with what I'm about to say very nicely. So shadow work is basically, you have unconscious parts of yourself that you refuse to accept, that you've demonized, that you just don't want to accept. And this isn't like on the surface. This is deep down. You have stuff that you've repressed, which comes back to screw you over in ways that you couldn't even imagine. Me personally, the first time I even realized or became conscious of me doing this, I was on a holiday with a few friends, and one of my mates would say something that would constantly piss me off. He would be constantly calling me an attention seeker, and my instant reaction to him calling me that would be defending myself, defending my ego, calling him out on other stuff that he did. I basically got very irrational, very emotional, and very defensive just because he said that. Now, did he have any harm or malice towards me? No. I was trying to defend a insecurity that I refused to accept. I refused to accept that a bunch of my validation came from external sources. So I acted in ways that basically, the truth was, I was an attention seeker. I wanted validation from other people because I didn't validate myself. And I did not want to accept that this was true. So I would defend and rationalize against that. But once realizing this, journaled about it, I figured it out, again, from the first point, I accepted that part of me. And that led to a stronger, less defensive ego. If something like that happened again, I would be able to realize, yeah, I'm fine. It's just the way it is. I accept that part of me. You can't get on my nerves. You can't upset me. And how does this and doing this work combine to or lead into self-esteem? Because if you have parts of yourself you don't like, you don't accept, you're going to like yourself less. You're going to feel less whole. It's literally as simple as that. And integrating these parts of myself, every time I did this, I felt better about myself. And my inner confidence, my inner self-belief, everything just goes up as a result. This is the shit that works, not getting more status or money or shit like that. It's integrating the parts of yourself that you refuse to accept. And I'll be making more content on how you can actually do this and actually make the change in the future. So follow, subscribe, and stay tuned for that. You won't want to miss out. So yeah, that is the video for now. Appreciate you watching and take care of yourself, mate. Bye-bye.